Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Unity Spiritual Center of Positive Prayer. How about that one? Maybe that's our new name. We'll work on that. Okay, today we are talking about Christmas. And we're talking about returning to the Christ. Christmas is real interesting, and we were chatting a little bit before. And historians really don't know that Christmas is Christmas. Anybody know that? There's a lot of things that don't match up historically. This time of year, it says that the shepherds were in the field with their flocks, and they weren't there during the winter. They were only there in the fields during the summer. So it's a little bit of things, but none of that matters because it's a celebration of the Christ being born within us. And the idea is that we, as each individual, as the expression of God, are here to learn how to manifest that Christ and change the world through our own awareness, which is something that Jesus did, if I can use that terminology, and get brave enough, since Jesus did tell us, these things I do, ye shall do with even greater things. And that's a conversation that keeps coming back to me over and over and over again, because that's what the Bible says, yes? At least mine does. So, I did want to start out. And this week, in the course of something very, very interesting came up for me, and I decided, okay, we're going to look at that. We are all on a spiritual journey. Most people in the world are looking for answers to things. Anybody aware of the thousands and thousands of dollars that are spent on self-improvement? Many, many churches share that they have the gospel, the end-all, everything's going to work out. And the peddling of solving people's problems. Anybody familiar with the psychology and psychiatric area? And the book of different problems that people have is about that thick, if you're familiar with it. Because they have a name for everything that could occur in our consciousness. And so the whole world is wired into where are we going, what are we doing, how we're going to get there, and how do I solve my problems? And we're here to discuss the same thing. So do you think maybe we have an answer? And here, for me, the Course of Love and some other things really do have answers in them. But here it says, and this is chapter 9 for those of you who are interested. It says here, let's see, now, they're talking about the needs and the world that we're in. Because what we are all, we have needs that we're looking for solving. Relationship needs, money needs, health needs. You know, needs go on and on and on and on. So how come we have needs if we really are an expression of God? Then it goes on and says, some practices more commonly thought of as tools might be meditation. Now, Psalm says, be still and know that I am God. It doesn't say, it says make a joyful noise, but it also says be quiet once in a while. Anybody familiar with that idea? And being quiet sometimes is not easy because the world is full of noise. Okay? As a matter of fact, it's very distractive. I got caught last night watching one of those dramas on TV. And yes, it was one of those blood and guts things, and I went to bed with that on my mind. And it took me at least 20 minutes to get it shifted. Because the world is filling us full of stuff. So once in a while we need to go into the silence. Next thing it says, meditation, exercise of the body such as yoga or exercises. Okay, so movement of the body, health of the body, taking care of the body is important. And this says on the path to enlightenment, meditation number 1, taking care of ourselves number 2. And then it goes on and talks about exercises of the mind such as affirmations. Okay, now that means talking to yourself in a positive way. And in your bulletins this morning, we have a whole sheet full of Catherine Ponder affirmations. And we're going to talk about that because they cover pretty much everything, and I would like to go through them with you and encourage you once a day to take the 5 or 10 minutes it would take to speak them out loud. And we're going to discuss that. Then it goes on here. Exercise. And these tools are the means of releasing ego, mind, and inviting the one mind or God, unity, into the present moment. So how do we bring God into our awareness? Everybody's looking for that connection to God. And it's saying here 4 things, which I'm going to edify the 4th thing, but number 1, meditation. Number 2, taking care of the body. Number 3, affirmations, or the speaking, changing the consciousness of our mind. And then the fourth thing is our needs. Now, how can needs be a tool to help us become enlightened? And we're going to talk about that, okay? Now, is this appropriate now? Yeah, we're looking for the birth of the Christ within us. Anybody agree that the birth of the Christ, if I become enlightened or understand who I really am, then things should, you hear the word should, smooth out for us. Okay, now, the percentage of people that reach that level is fairly small from what I can tell. Okay, and I'm not going to give you any percentages, but there are people that finally reach a point of awareness. And all of us are on the path to becoming. I call it the spiritual path. And they really, this, as a group, that's what we're about. And we're here to support each other in that process. But the idea is to be doing the work. To be doing the work. Okay? So, first thing we're going to take a look at is the meditation idea. And it's really fascinating to me. Where did my other book go?
Over here.
What? Yes, thank you. I was looking for it. Thank you. Lessons in Truth. Anybody familiar with Lessons in Truth? Okay, Lessons in Truth was one of the original ideas in the Unity Movement. It was written by a doctor by the name of Emily Cady. She was an unusual lady. You stop and think about it, she was a medical doctor back in the 1880s, 1890s. She wrote this book as installments in the Unity magazine back in the 1890s. And then it was published as a book in 1910, 1920. But it's really simple basics, and I wanted to talk about meditation here. She says, paragraph 25(3) of the opening, every person must take time daily for quiet and meditation. Now, is that all-inclusive? Yeah, that doesn't mean there's especially gifted people that have to give it up, or I'm too busy, or it says every person. Then it goes on and says, in daily meditation lies the secret of power. Please take the word power in. And I don't know about you, but power, what does power mean? To me, it brings a little bit of the idea of control of my life in. Okay? And anybody agree that we are in a position where if we have a little bit of control of our life, but the problem is we don't have the control, we turn the control over to Spirit. And that's where the power comes from. Then it goes on and says, no one can grow in either spiritual knowledge or power without it. Now, I have a hard time with absolutes. So when it says no one, that means even me. Okay, even any of us. All of us must be taking a certain amount of time every day to start accumulating power, to grow in knowledge, and to allow the brain to shift from the material world into the spiritual world by creating new dendrites in the brain. So in the quiet time, and it's difficult, the first time, I can remember a number of years ago thinking, why am I just sitting here doing nothing? If I take 20 minutes, a half an hour, sitting for nothing, I've lost a half an hour of productivity. And that really was my thought in the beginning. Now it's gotten to the point where I'm uncomfortable unless I spend some time. But it took years to get to that point. So I'm encouraging you and helping you understand that it's part of our ritual if we're truly on a spiritual path, and if we want to reach the point where we have a certain amount of power or control over our life. It's part of surrendering. Anybody familiar with the word surrendering? It's also called let go and let God. Then it goes on and says, practice the presence of God just as you would practice music. Do we have any musicians in here? Good. See, we got some of that. We got a guitarist. Now, did I learn, let's say Randy. Randy learned to play the guitar in one session. No. It takes years. And it takes years and years, and it takes different issues to learn to play guitar, to learn to sing, to learn to do anything in life. It takes time. And then once you think you know, then you start learning. It's amazing. And yet we expect ourselves to be automatically enlightened. Now, does it happen? Yes. A few rare people. However, it takes, on a spiritual path, it takes time, day after day after day. And it takes a daily practice. Everybody got that? Daily. Okay? So it goes on here. No one would ever dream of becoming a master in music except by spending time daily with music. Daily meditation alone with God focuses the divine presence within us and brings it to our consciousness. Now that last phrase I'd like to share with you again. Daily meditation alone with God focuses the divine presence. So when we go into meditation and learn to become still, we are in the presence of divinity, and divinity is automatically downloading into our consciousness and shifting the beliefs that we hold in the world. So one of the issues is faith and trust. Can I really have trust that that building's going to go up down the street and get free? And see, we keep talking about it. Why? Because it's building consciousness. That, do we limit God? See, God is all-encompassing. We're talking about the power of the universe that's within you. And how do I get in touch with it? I, once in a while, sit down, shut up, and listen. Okay? And it takes time, it takes learning to do that. But it's like, it might take, well, I might only be able to spend 2 or 3 minutes, 5 minutes in quiet time one day. But over a period of time, I can add a minute each day. Pretty soon I'm doing 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Usually that's enough twice a day. But the idea is, and I encourage you to do that. And really, if I'm on a spiritual path, that's what I choose to do. Okay? And then it says, daily meditation alone with God focuses the divine presence. I got to say it 3 times, okay? And brings it into our consciousness. What would happen if we were still enough and quiet enough to hear God? What would it be like to be in the presence of God automatically in my quiet time? And that's the idea. That's where we're going, okay? Third item was health. Evidently, the physical body needs certain things. One of those things is good nutrition. And what's our world like as far as good nutrition is concerned? One of my weaknesses is pizza. Anybody familiar with pizza?
Oh, yeah.
I hate to tell you what's in it. Okay? And there's all kinds of diets out there, and I'm not going to say which one you should take. I'm not going to say what exercise. What I am going to say that movement and taking care of the body is part of the process. The Bible says that the body is the temple of God. So we are a temple of divinity. So the question is, how are we treating God? Which is us, and are we taking care of us? Part of that is movement. Now I might walk, you might run. No running for me, but I'm definitely going to. I use a jumper. Anybody familiar with the trampoline thing? That's what I do, okay? Not enough. Okay, but we all need a certain amount of movement. And it's a physical movement, keeping the body limber, if you will, taking care of it. Okay? I also encourage other things, alternative ideas, etc. I'm not going to tell you what to do. But I am going to say it's taking care of the body temple becomes more and more important. Especially when and this is a negative comment, but when the ages start coming on. Okay, so it's taking care of the body, honoring the body, spending time in quiet and in meditation. Okay? The next out of the 4 items was affirmations. And in your bulletin, I gave you another sheet of Catherine Ponder affirmations. So everybody pull them out. Oh, thank you. Okay, now, the reason I keep going back to Catherine Ponder and this sheet, okay, it's very simple. They work. These have been around for years. You heard before some of the testimonials of people that I've had that take this on. And they cover pretty much all of the issues we as human beings deal with. So, page 1, gathering prosperity decrees. By the way, that little Chinese symbol I understand is prosperity. Okay? Now, these affirmations are focused on prosperity, but really, if you stop and think about it, is it prosperous to be healthy? Is it prosperous to have good relationships? The word prosperity handles many, many things. Because prosperity really means my good. And relationships, in my opinion, are important. My relationship with you folks is a blessing. It really is. So taking a look at it, number 1, I open my mind to prosperity. we're not going to do the whole thing, but I want to go through here and just share with you why I feel it's so important to be reading these out loud every day. Anybody want to share with us why it's important to be speaking them out loud?
Creates the energy to manifest.
Say it again.
Creates the energy to manifest.
Create the energy to manifest. Yes. Okay. I do want you, I just happen to have a scriptural reference. Are you ready? This is Matthew 12:36. Okay. Well, by the way, I'll go back to 35. A good person out of the good treasure of the heart bringeth forth good things, and an evil person bringeth forth evil things. But I say unto you, every idle word that men shall speak, they shall give account of it in the day of judgment. For by thy words shalt thou be justified, and by thy words shalt thou be condemned. So when we speak words, stop and think about this. When I think something, before I speak something, I have to think it. And all thought is manifesting. So as I speak, as Valerie said, I put the energy out in the universe. Okay? And when I'm speaking negative things, same things happen. So it's our choice what we're going to speak. Now the issue is, it's like me getting tied up in the cotton picking TV last night. It wasn't good information. Okay? And I got caught in it because the world out there is full of traps. Yes? Yes. I'm saying that. Okay? So we consciously, the only thing we really have control over is the words we speak. Anybody here ever tried to control your mind completely? Try it. You'll go nuts. Because the mind doesn't want to slow down, but when we speak the words are in that concept of going out into the world. So that's why these affirmations are so important. Is what I speak, I bring into manifestation. Let's go back and take a look at first idea is I open my mind to prosperity. Now here's an idea in the spiritual area that most of us have been, and I speak only for myself, and you probably have a similar upbringing. Don't expect too much is what I was told. You're going to have to work hard for everything. Nobody's going to give you anything. These are all words that we grow up with, which contradicts the idea of prosperity on a spiritual level. Yes? This is yes, this is no. Okay, so how do we counteract that programming? Is to take charge of it ourselves and speak it into the ethers of the universe. So, it says, I open my mind to prosperity. Okay, I like the second affirmation. I am the rich child of a loving Father, so I dare to prosper now. How does that feel? Somebody want to share? Let's say it out loud together. I'm really going to get you into this. Together, I am the rich child of a loving Father, so I dare to prosper now. Do you hear the word dare in there? You see, that's saying no matter what has happened in the past, no matter how I've been trained, I dare to prosper and feel that way. Okay? Goes on to next. I cleanse my mind for prosperity. One of the issues in our life is all the things that have piled up over the years. All the anger, all the resentment, all the I'm going to get back, wait until it happens. My dad didn't do this for me. My mom didn't appreciate me. My mom did this. All of these issues that are there, we don't know they're there. And we're saying they are still influencing us whether we know it or not. Now, the meditation opens us to the correction of those ideas consciously. However, we can accelerate the process by making declarations of a new way we want to look at things. So the first thing it says, I dissolve in my own mind, the minds of others, any idea that my own can be withheld from me. No person, thing, or event can keep that from me, which the universe has for me now. Now, anybody agree we've been trained that that isn't true? Because, I grew up this way, my mom taught me that. That guy that I was in business with, he ran off with my money, so I'm broke today. That ex-husband, whatever it is, we all have those reasons to be a victim. And the idea behind it is they aren't true. because each one of us is a child of God. And when I talk about needs, the minute we have a need, in spirit, it is handled. Okay? Now, how do we learn something? By doing it. Sometimes doing it the wrong way and learning to start over again. Yes? So these ideas are here. So number one is learning to open to prosperity and being aware of prosperity. Then it becomes cleansing my mind and letting go of the old past. The old boyfriends, the old whatever it is. And we all have those issues, whatever they are. And they have piled up subconsciously for us. And we're asking Spirit to heal them. But I'm also saying, here's what I'm doing. Okay? How about the last one? All that has offended me, I forgive. Within and without, I forgive. Things past, things present, things future, I forgive. I forgive everything and everybody who can possibly need forgiveness for the past or present. I forgive positively everyone. And because I do that, I am free and they are free too. See, it's understanding how powerful our thoughts are. Not only do we affect us, we affect others with our thinking. I am free and they are free. All things are cleared up between us now and forever. And how many of us have relationships that applies to? Okay. Then it goes on, I get definite about prosperity so that prosperity can get definite about me. And I like the first one, let's say it together. Vast improvement comes quickly in every phase of my life now. Every day and every way, things are getting better and better and better. I have three for me now. How would life be if that were really true? It's a simple statement. It really is. And what do we believe and what have we been shared? And, you know, I used to fall asleep with these. I put them on the tape and let them play all night. Continuous loop tape. But yet we forget them. We do. It's really fascinating. Okay? And we have to drag things out of the old closets and share them again. So it goes on. I invite the wealth of the universe to manifest richly in my financial affairs now. I am rich in mind and manifestation now. Okay, anybody agree, each one of us, if we had some of our dreams, that church would be built next week? Especially if Tommy hits the lotto. He's already making plans, by the way. I don't know about you, but I think a couple of us might win it also. So. But the idea is, what are we anticipating? The question is, when I go to check into my ticket, am I already deciding that it's not a winner? Or am I knowing that God is there in that ticket? Small idea, but the idea is, what am I expecting in my life? And this is reconditioning the mind, okay? Large sums of money, right in the middle, large sums of money. Big, happy financial surprises. And rich, appropriate gifts now come to me under grace. Do you hear the words? Under grace, which means in perfect ways, okay? And then it goes on to say under grace in perfect ways, which is complete protection around that. Catherine Ponder talks about being careful about what you say, because if you ask for money, money can come in many different ways. I'm sure some of you had money come from accidents or other issues. We don't need money that way. We need money in perfect ways under grace. So that's why it's important to be careful about what you speak, and that's why we include this. Okay? I give thanks for a quick and substantial increase in my financial income now. Anybody say amen? Amen. Right now. Okay? And is that possible? See, we've been trained that it isn't possible. And what I'm asking you to do is open up the idea to prosperity and start speaking these ideas. And I'm saying out loud once a day. Okay? Okay. Let's go on. Now, let's go down the back page. By the way, I like the first one, divine love, working through substance, prospers my financial affairs. I am receiving now. My rich good now comes to me quickly and in peace. Do you understand the words? And that's why I honestly am sharing these with you, because they are carefully crafted affirmations that protect us in the way things come to us. Number 4, that's taking care of the church. Since giving is first step in receiving, my giving makes me rich. That is not taking care of the church, that's actually taking care of you. There's a number of folks in this room that know it doesn't benefit the church, it benefits me, it benefits you. Because it's one of the laws of the universe to share as it comes in, feeling good about it, knowing that it goes out into the universe and comes back. And it's when Tommy teaches the 4T and others teach prosperity, the main idea is sharing of our good and doing it consistently week after week after week. See, here's the idea. Everybody get this? It's a daily process of doing these things every day. In other words, like a lot of people come Sunday morning and get a shot and then go back into the world. And that works, that's helpful, but it's every day creating your own church in your own sacred space. Okay? Then, and I like the last one, I've now got it into my true place with the true people and with my true prosperity now. What would it be like to be in our true place? Stop and think about that idea. For quite a while, we did counseling and working, helping people look at their mission in life, what their goals were in life, those type of things. But the whole idea is true place. When am I in my true place? Where am I? What is life like? How would life flow to me? Okay? Now, the last part of it is, the last thing is some guidance on it. But I encourage you every day, and stop and think about the power in this room. If everybody in this room commits to, and for the next month, does these every day. And that's out loud. It takes about 10 minutes or so. So if you take 20 minutes of quiet time, 10 minutes affirmation time, you got a half an hour, and you're charged up, ready to go. Valerie has to talk. Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
On the back page where it says list here what you want to eliminate in your life,
Yes.
I thought that you really weren't supposed to focus on what you want to let go of, that you're only supposed to focus on what you want. Because
Good
if you
point.
focus on what you want to eliminate, you're giving it power.
It is both. I will tell you that this was copied from a flyer in 1973, I think. So it was in there. And
Tapping produces the negative, though, that we need to get rid of.
yeah, so tap, it's part of it. What happens is, what I want to eliminate is a movement word, okay? There's some negative words that we say don't use them, okay? But eliminate is in other words, the whole body, the body system has to take food in and eliminate. And elimination is not the part we talked about, but it's a vital part, including our digestion, sweat, and other ways that things will leave us. So the cycle of the body is take, intake, outtake. So there are things in our spiritual life, such as, and forgiveness works on that, but those habits that are not productive, okay? In other words, the word joy, bringing joy into my life, I would want to eliminate sadness and sorrow, if that makes sense. Now, there is that idea that I'm better off not focusing on what I don't want. Okay, but eliminate is a word that means let it go. Okay? Good question.
Wow.
Anybody else?
I see it as freeing your mind of it. If you write it down, I'm freeing my mind
Yeah.
of this, and then you let it go. And you don't read through that whenever you read the rest of everything else.
No.
So you're giving yourself permission to free your mind of it.
It's a list and you let it go. By the way, New Year's Eve, which we're coming up on, the burning bowl is part of that. Writing down what I want to eliminate, what I want to leave behind. So when you're with us on New Year's Eve, I hope everybody's going to be there. That's part of the ritual, is leaving the old behind us. Okay? It's a good question, though. It really is. Thank you.
One of the things for me that's been true about this is letting go of old ideas that I've created that weren't actually based in reality. It was my view of how the world worked, but it was an incorrect view.
Yeah.
So it's important for me to let go of that stuff, because if I don't, I stay stuck in that place.
It's a very interesting thing. It's like things I want, some of the things I've wanted in my past, I don't want anymore.
Yeah.
Really. And one comes to mind is a Porsche. And we drove a 928 Porsche for a little bit, and it was exhilarating, but I have no need for that anymore. As a matter of fact, it's dangerous because there's too much power there. But these things we need to let go. Old things need to be eliminated from our life, okay? Which takes me to the fourth level. Are everybody ready? And a lot of times people don't understand needs. Now, wants are different than needs. Everybody there? In other words, I wanted a Porsche 356, if anybody's familiar with that. Now, is that really a need? No. Because the car just takes me from here to there. It's transportation. So what I really wanted was fancy transportation that somebody would say, wow, look at him. So it was an ego issue. It wasn't a need issue. So what are needs? And we do. In this world, we have needs for transportation, especially in Pflugerville. You can't just walk down the street and find something. Okay? We have a need for food. Yes? Good nutrition. Pizza once in a while.
Ice cream once in a while.
Ice cream, yeah. That was one of my downfalls. I used to run an ice cream plant and I had too much of it. So. It is. It really is. We also need companionship. We do. We need each other. Relationship is one of the keys to a spiritual life, is being in relationship with people that are of like minds. And they provide our needs and we provide their needs. Anybody agree that we need somebody to appreciate us once in a while? We need feedback that we're doing okay. And these are all the needs. And what other needs do we have? We have a need for shelter. We have a need for heat and cold at appropriate times. Okay? We have a need, many of these needs. So what are the needs and are they provided? Now here in the United States we're doing pretty well. We really are. Okay? And we lose track of the difference between needs and wants. And my belief is when we are in sync, or we are in spirit, or we are enlightened, our needs are taken care of. Now, how do we know when needs come up? All of a sudden, something happens. The only way we know a need is to have the need. In other words, if I'm cold, I have a need to be warm. And so that need generates the need to seek for warmth, to find warmth. All I'm saying is, in spirit and when we're enlightened, those things show up automatically. Anybody here have parking spots show up automatically? Yeah. Okay? And you have established a need. You have established a need. It's amazing. It's uncanny sometimes. Did you ever had a call from somebody when you know you needed just that? God bless her. I looked at Janie. Janie had a big need on Friday and it was there. Okay? So these things automatically start showing up for us when we are in spirit. And here's one of the keys. We got to let go of the old. In other words, spirit is always for growth and increase. Can you imagine God going backwards? Can you imagine God hanging on to something because I might need it in the future? Can you imagine God being afraid that the future is not, I won't be able to take care of myself? See, that's inconceivable. And yet we say, I'm an expression of God, which you are, each are. So, when am I going, and I'm talking to myself now, when am I going to learn to trust and know that my needs are taken care of spontaneously and automatically? Okay? Some of you are in business for yourself, and when you're in front of a customer, you get paid, that's automatically taken care of, okay? Jobs, I might need a job, money shows up, the opportunity. Now, the thing I got involved years ago was I expected money to come floating out of the heavens. It doesn't happen that way. Because everything that occurs through other people in relationship. You see, Bruce is a manifestation of God that's there, and he and I are in relationship. And it's that relationship and our relationships that provide the needs. Now, the relationships are much bigger. They're out into the world because there's a whole bunch of people out there that need your skill, whatever that is. Some of you are great caretakers and nurturers. Some of you play music. Some of you are carpenters. Some of you do wonderful things, and it's that providing somebody else's needs that takes care of our needs. You got it? It's like we look at, well, I need money to come in. No. I need to provide somebody's needs, and out of that, my needs are taken care of. So it's looking at that, expecting that, and understanding that we are in relationship with each other, and it's that relationship that is God, manifesting itself in our individual lives every day. So the more we put ourselves out into the universe, the more joy we share. Remember the word is joy today? The more we get involved in the process of life, the more life returns to us. And it's amazing how we get the opportunity to reach out. Okay, believe me, sometimes it's just saying hello. I don't know why, but I'm going to McDonald's. I had breakfast at this morning. And there were 2 or 3 people sitting at tables, all by themselves. A couple of them looked rather disheveled. And most people would not say hello. All of a sudden, my heart said, say good morning. And it was like, they were surprised that anybody interacted with them. Okay? And so, it might be that simple. I don't know. What effect did that have on those people? But I'm sharing with you, you have an impact on other people. And it's part of us expressing God in our skills. And that's where our needs are supplied. So number 1, meditation. Everybody there? We are working on centering prayer here. Centering prayer, I've seen change churches. I know meditation is a basic. Number 2, taking care of self. Now, how far you go is up to you. Lots of ideas out there. And some of you are pretty, I was going to say nuts about it. It's really taking care of yourself and honoring the body temple. Number 3 is doing affirmations or speaking the truth about ourselves, who we are as a child of God, and we deserve resources, okay? And then number 4, looking at the needs and understanding my needs come from others, and my needs are met when I supply the needs of others, and it's not a sacrifice, it's going out and sharing the joy of who we are. Pretty simple if you really take a look at it. And see, everybody's looking for the key. Everybody's looking for that secret word or that secret phrase or that affirmation I can use. Okay, or I'm looking for a special hat to wear or whatever it is. And we have all these special things. But the truth is, I believe it comes down to those 4 items. Number 1 is meditation. Number 2 is taking care of yourself. Number 3 is speaking the truth about ourselves. And number 4 is being out in the community sharing who we are. And number 5 is God, which is wrapped up in those 4. So thank you for allowing me to have my share of that prosperity idea today. It's very interesting. I started saying in the house, these affirmations in the house, Madeline, because she's heard them for so many years, automatically chimes in with me. I'm hoping the same thing happens in your house. And I love you dearly, and that church is being built. Thank you.